who you are and what your true identity and character is something difficult to find out. Here are 3 ways I've gotten to know myself better, and I think this can be useful for you. Rick Rubin has a quote where he says, "You can't truly know who you are until you first express yourself in some way." He says this in The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, and I thought it was a beautiful quote. And yes, you have to express yourself to meet yourself. You can't just think your way through it. You have to actually do an action, and through that action and the way that you react to what happens after that is when you meet yourself. So here are 3 ways that you can meet yourself. First one is going to be writing. Writing allows you to see what your subconscious looks like on a page. It allows you to work on formulating your own opinions and seeing, okay, you know what? Actually, when I wrote this, I didn't feel authentic, but when I wrote this opinion, it felt more true. You can go down to the fundamentals of an idea and start building from there, from that base, new ideas that are your own, and you start becoming your own person. You can also through journaling see what mistakes you've been making in the past. Look at old journals. You can look and explore current emotions that you're having, and once you see it on the page, it's almost as like something separate. You can look at it objectively, and this way you're not clouded by your own perceptions of yourself. It's almost like you're looking at a separate person, and you can see yourself for the first time in an objective manner. Journaling, writing, any form of placing words on a page or in a word processor that's digital is a beautiful way to see and meet yourself. The next thing is going to be just taking action in a big and massive way. So you're going to find out and choose a path that's most meaningful for you, most exciting for you. You need to write out this vision, and then your best guess on what are the steps to get there. Once you do that, you need to be taking so much massive action, especially at the beginning where you need as much feedback and data to know which way to change your trajectory as you go towards this ultimate vision. The more action you take, the more you're going to meet yourself, and especially if you run into conflict, which inevitably, being alive, and especially as you take more action, you'll run into more conflict, more barriers that are in between you and where you want to be. Now, in these moments of conflict, that's more than anything else talked about in this video, in conflict is when you get to meet yourself. You get to see, am I someone at this point in my life that's going to crumble, or am I someone that's going to brace in and just march forward and through whatever barrier and boundary is in front of me? Placing myself in situations that are difficult, moving to a new country, placing myself in jobs that maybe I didn't feel 100% prepared for, but going through with it anyways and trying my hardest, I got to meet myself and see, okay, this is what I need to work on. This is what I do under stress. This is the person that I want to be. And I've shown myself who I am currently, right now. Placing yourself in situations where you meet stress and conflict, especially when it's walking towards a goal that has a personal why for you, a personal meaning, so you can give your fullest self. That is when you're truly going to meet yourself. The last thing is going to be creating some form of art. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a painting or music or something abstract along those creative art lines, but doing things without thinking about a reward, which is what I think is the definition of art. Just doing things for the sake of doing them. It could be a hobby, it could be creating a business, but without thinking about, okay, how much money am I going to get in return? Which people are going to enjoy this and like this? No, just thinking about, does this feel good for me in the moment? Is it enjoyable? Is it something I can do forever and it just feels exciting. When you can find these projects, these habits, these skills that you're developing, and express yourself in a way that's purely for the sake of just doing the action, whatever product comes from that is going to be the most authentic expression of yourself possible. So in these three ways, one, writing, creating a writing habit within your life. Two, taking as much action as possible, massive amounts at the beginning, massive amounts towards an ultimate meaningful goal. And lastly, creating things without a goal, just creating for the sake of creating and looking at the final product. In these moments, you will meet yourself. You will find the most authentic version of yourself. And for the first time, you can begin moving forward truthfully, authentically, and having this dialogue with yourself in a way where it's like, okay, I now feel like I'm beginning to know this person. I see the person's vulnerabilities. They're removing the exterior, and I can see myself for the first time. Partake in these 3 steps, that's what I've done for myself. And little by little, you get to meet yourself over and over and see your character and your personality and your true emotions in the most authentic and deep manner possible.